Tea break tips.
So in this video we're going to be looking at the float property with the help from our good friends the Thundercats. And I think floats are something that we used to see quite a lot on the web. Never really seen that much in email, and it's sort of gone out of fashion, but I think it's time for them to come back, just like it's time for the Thundercats to come back. So if we just scroll down here, we've got our old friend Lionel, who hopefully you all know. If you don't, he's a bit of a legend. And below him a couple of paragraphs of text. So to add a float on here, so just on the image we're going to add float left, and he's floating left. So this is a great way of just getting the image in amongst the text. Really good support. This works pretty much almost everywhere. It's just Outlook where it's not supported. However, you'll notice that down here it says table and image elements can use the line attribute to get a similar effect. Now, if I were to just add down here, the line equals left, and then I'll remove the float so we can see that this is basically doing the same job. But I'm going to keep both in just to get that extra bit of support. So we can see that the image is sort of right up against the text here. We probably want to add a little bit of margin just to sort of space it out, because otherwise it can make the text quite hard to read. So I'm going to start off with Outlook first on this time. So let's do H space equals, I'm going to set that to 8, and I'll do V space equals, and that's going to be 8 as well. So H space is horizontal space, V space is vertical space. Now, both of these properties, space will be equal on the left and right. We can't just set one or the other. So this is what we're going to get in Outlook, but for everything else we can set a margin. So let's do a margin, now we'll put 0 on the top, 0.5 on the right, 0.5 underneath, and then 0 on the left. So we've still got that nice bit of margin there, but we don't have the extra bit on the top and the left that we'll get in Outlook. In terms of responsive, you can add a media query to adjust this, but if we shrink it down, it starts to look a little bit wrong. The text doesn't quite have space. Really quick, simple fix for this. If we just do a max width, say about 30%, and there we go, so it just shrinks down. You can adjust that to whatever suits your style the best. If we can just scroll down here, we can see Wily Kit and Wily Cat. We've got, this works with a float left and float right. So in the code here, we can see this is the top image is the first thing that comes under the heading, and that's set to float right. And then the bottom image is set to float left after the first paragraph. And just as we adjust the size, you can see that this is actually also eating into this paragraph a bit, and it just sort of all fits around and it just flows really nicely. Really good effects. And one final thing I just wanted to show you here. Here we've got Chitara, and what we've done here is just added this extra little shape outside margin box, and that will wrap all around really nicely. There's a number of properties we can do here. We can use shape outside circle, we can do a polygon in there. Now this isn't going to work everywhere. The float works really well, great support, but this shape outside, it works in Apple Mail, maybe a couple of other places if we're lucky. But don't rely on it. This is just an extra little enhancement for where it's supported. So go and try it out.